कभी कभी हमारे प्रतिपक्ष के लोग ये पूछते रहे हैं कि हमारे कितने विमान गिरे। मुझे लगता है उनका यह प्रश्न हमारी राष्ट्रीय जनभावनाओं का सही से प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं कर रहा है। मुझे लगता है उन्होंने एक बार भी हमसे यह नहीं पूछा कि हमारी सेनाओं ने दुश्मन के कितने विमान मारे गिराए। यदि उन्हें प्रश्न पूछना ही है अध्यक्ष महोदय, तो उनका प्रश्न यह होना चाहिए, क्या भारत ने आतंकवादी ठिकानों को तबाह किया? तो उसका उत्तर है हाँ। मैं विपक्ष के सम्मानित साथियों से कहना चाहता हूं कि आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह प्रश्न पूछिए, क्या ऑपरेशन सिंदूर सफल रहा? तो उसका उत्तर है हाँ।
All right, let's get you an important voice on this. General G.G. Dwivedi, who's joining us on the broadcast. General Dwivedi, appreciate you joining us on India Global. Let me start by first asking you that justice for Pahalgam terror attack victims has happened on the day when the government is being asked those questions by the opposition. How do you read the fact that there is some closure that's coming in for the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack?
Well, Gaurie, firstly, thanks for having me on your show. I think this news comes as a great success for the Indian Armed Forces because these three terrorists who actually had committed the heinous crime, the Indian Armed Forces were after them. And it is so heartening that after 3 months, we have ultimately got them. And as the names are still being disclosed, one is Suleiman, Yasser, Hamza. What I want to say is that justice has been served. And that was so important because this crime of this kind that was committed in Pahalgam on 22nd April was one of the most heinous of its kind. And I think we should compliment our armed forces that they have been at it for the last 3 months and finally they got them. This serves a very important message to the other terrorists that your days will be numbered. No matter if where you are, you will be caught and you will be killed. And also Operation Sindoor was another message to Pakistan that you stop this cross-border terrorism or else we'll strike you wherever you are. And that's the message even Prime Minister had given yesterday, that we'll hunt them down wherever they are. And I'm so glad that this justice has been served. And I'm sure it will assuage the feelings of those brave hearts who were killed during this heinous crime, during this heinous act. Gaurie.
Then, which brings me to ask you this, General Dwivedi, this comes even as repeated questions were being asked. Why is it that those terrorists are not being hunted? Why is it taking so long? This is the most befitting reply that has come in.
Absolutely, Gaurie, because the point is that terrorists are not very easy to hunt because they operate in the areas which are many times inaccessible. You have to build up the information. So it just cannot happen with the press of the button because I have operated extensively in these areas. It takes time and sometime you may not even get them. But what is very heartening is that while we have taken time, we have got them and justice has been served. And this should be a very clear message across the spectrum that Indian Armed Forces, India as a nation, will give a befitting response to such like terrorist activities. And it's time that Pakistan stops its cross-border terrorism because otherwise Operation Sindoor is still on. And in case they don't mend their ways, then they are in for further punishment. Gaurie.
All right, we leave it there. General Dwivedi, thanks much for speaking to us on that big story. Well, viewers, the message is loud and clear from India that we will not stop till the time we ensure all perpetrators of a terrorist attack are brought to book. Viewers, I'm now turning attention to the other big story. Well, Thailand and Cambodia leaders have just concluded their truce talks in Malaysia. A border dispute which has been deadly has been continuing for 5 days now. And there's breaking news that's coming in that I want to quickly address on the broadcast. There's breaking news coming in right now. which is that there is an unconditional ceasefire that has been announced right now. That's the big breaking news that we have right now, which is that there is an immediate and unconditional ceasefire that has been announced by both sides. Remember, this comes after 5 days of relentless border dispute that's going on and skirmishes which have taken lives on both sides. Let's get in first. Let's introduce our guest joining us on the broadcast, Michael Feller. He's joining us from Melbourne in Australia. But before I come to you, Michael, I want to quickly put out some of those big questions. As we were going into this broadcast, it seemed that whether or not there's any possibility of a peace actually happening. Let's put out some of those big questions. Will the US mediation help achieve peace? Remember, this is a ceasefire. We are talking about whether or not a possible peace formula can happen. Second quick question, who triggered this conflict? Both sides are saying they're not the ones who started this. How did it really start? Because this is a festering issue. It's a centuries-old issue. If you do not understand the core issue and you do not ensure that this doesn't happen again, there's a possibility of the same being repeated. Next, have both sides targeted civilian areas? Lastly, what will be the political ramifications of this in Thailand? Those are the big questions that we're asking. And Michael, the breaking news that we have right now for our viewers, there's a ceasefire in place. Your first thoughts on the fact that it seems that immediate mediation efforts by the global community is leading to some sort of a potential breakthrough. And we'll keep putting that breaking news on our screens right now. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, thank you. Good to be here. And I think the ceasefire was always likely to happen. The Cambodian side, which is militarily a lot weaker than the Thai army, was always going to seek a ceasefire. And when the United States threatened to withhold trade negotiations from Thailand, I think the Thai government had little choice but to agree. The problem for the Thai civilian government, however, is that a ceasefire which can be made to look weak by the military establishment could give some cause, if you will, for potentially a disruption of the democratic process, i.e. a military coup. That's been the worry over the last couple of months. We've seen the government, the civilian government in Thailand, under a lot of pressure. The current Prime Minister, she is of course suspended, and then this war breaks out mysteriously. So you can only wonder what's really going on here. Is it really about Thailand and Cambodia, or is this domestic politics by other means?
Okay, so you are connecting the dots and taking it into a completely different direction. But before I come to that, the possible dynamics that could be at play in Thailand itself, I want to come and address, I want to first focus on the breaking news that is coming in right now, because at the end of the day, if there is a possibility of a truce, no matter how tenuous it is, to hold out, then at the end of the day, at least the dispute will ensure that lives are not lost. Right now, 33 people have lost their lives. In your assessment, do you expect this ceasefire to hold out, given the fact that the US administration has been very keen that it should stick?
On the balance of probabilities, I do. And I think that anything which is going on within Thailand will refocus to the domestic power struggle there. I think the situation on the Cambodian border, the violence didn't work for anybody except to perhaps distract from Thai domestic issues. It was senseless. This is an issue which has been going on for well over 100 years, this border dispute. There was no real rational reason for violence this year to break out, except one can assume as some kind of attempt to distract a domestic audience from something else. Because really, you know, the International Court of Justice has adjudicated on this matter several times. The Thai and Cambodian states otherwise had a $5 billion trading relationship, which is not large in global terms, but for small economies is fairly significant. And of course, Thailand's economy depends on tourism. So having a war on your border is not a good look if you're trying to attract holidaymakers. So for many reasons, I think the ceasefire ultimately will hold.
You're right about the fact that this has larger implications for the Thai economy, more so given the fact that a very large part of it actually relies on tourism. India is also the third largest provider of tourism earnings, so to say, after China and Malaysia. But in terms of the dynamics, how it plays out from here, and we're going to connect with Amit Khanna as well to give us a sense of how things are looking on ground. But Michael, my final question to you is, while you are saying a lot to do with the Thai political dynamics that are playing out, that is likely to have an impact going forward as well, because the fluidity in Thai politics continues.
That's correct. And none of the fundamental issues which are causing tensions in Bangkok are going to be resolved by this ceasefire. In fact, it gives ground for many hardliners within the military to blame the civilian government, the civilian authorities, for being weak on national security. So it's really a delicate time for the civilian government there. No doubt they will be reaching out to ASEAN and the United States and others to try to shore up their authority. But Thailand has a history of coups every few years, and even in recent history, the current government's predecessors, Thaksin Shinawatra and his sister, they were both deposed by coups in 2006 and 2014 respectively. So it's definitely not out of the realms of possibility that it could happen.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. Michael Feller joining us live from Australia to really decode that big border dispute. But viewers, if you're tuning in right now, what is the latest update that's coming in? Breaking news that is coming on India Global right now is that Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to halt hostilities with immediate effect. This is after their peace talks took place in Malaysia, and this has been the deadliest border conflict in over a decade between Thailand and Cambodia. And this comes after a very clear outreach push from two sides, one being Malaysia. Malaysia is the chair of ASEAN, and the Malaysian Prime Minister, when he said and he spoke about peace coming in, and he was the one who was mediating, it really put in a huge effort in terms of the possibility of some sort of a breakthrough. On the other side, then there was an outreach that came in from the Trump administration as well, because thousands of people have been displaced, and 33 is the count in terms of the body count on at last update, which in fact has actually increased to 36. So in the wake of that, there was a clear outreach that came in from the Trump administration as well. So that's the latest that's coming in right now. We'll try and connect with somebody on ground, Amit Khanna, who is in Thailand, to give a sense of how this ceasefire is likely to pan out right now. This is an immediate ceasefire that's been put in place. This also marks the first formal dialogue that took place between the two sides since the clashes erupted from the 24th of July. It is regarding those temples. It's a Shiva temple where the both Buddhist countries have been fighting over. Let's get in Amit Khanna to tell us the latest that's happening on ground. Amit, it seems that there's been some sort of a breakthrough in peace talks, and a ceasefire is in place with immediate effect.
Yes, it's a really a sense of relief amongst Ishan workers who work in Bangkok. I could see them on the streets celebrating because they were really concerned about their families. And this ceasefire meeting was held at the Malaysian Prime Minister's residence, where leaders from both sides were present.
And interestingly, that just going into these peace talks, you had the Trump administration making it very clear that they've got to figure this out. And in fact, in typical Trump style, the administration said, if you guys can't figure out, then there's no trade deal on the table.
That's correct. That's how the U.S. ambassador to Malaysia was also present. He was also probably the part of the peace talks.
But, this is not just about, as I said, Trump administration does end up saying several things, and there's more than what meets the eye. But let me come back to the ceasefire per se. Now, what happens next? Those people who've been displaced, there are thousands on both sides who've been displaced. What happens there?
So see, I think as of yesterday, the shelters had multiplied in the sense that from the day one. Now, as of yesterday, there were large shelters which came up. That means a lot of people were displaced and put into shelters. I think that process of de-escalation will start today.
Okay, so how soon will people then be able to go back to the border areas because there's been displacement on large scale on both sides?
So, if you understand, the government has had issued an advisory asking people to stay away at least 130 kilometers away from the border, because that's how the rockets and the launchers have the reach.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks much, Amit, for decoding that for us. Amit Khanna joining us live from Bangkok to tell us the latest as far as what happens next after an immediate ceasefire has been announced between Thailand and Cambodia after 5 days of relentless border hostilities, which have taken and claimed 36 lives so far. So that's the big breaking news coming in on India Global, viewers, that after 5 days of border clashes, the two sides have agreed to a peace deal. On that note, a quick break. We return with more stories on the other side of India Global. Stay with us.
Cricket updates brought to you by Remitly. Send money home safely with Remitly.
Vodafone's summer sale is now on. Save £216 with our Unlimited Plus plan. Yours for only £24 per month, helping you stay connected to your friends all summer long. Hurry, offer ends 31st of July. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
It's great to be helping out before my first grandchild arrives. And after having a few repairs myself, I need to make sure they'll all be protected. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
Wow, that money could help with funeral costs or as a gift for my grandkid. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
He's going to be named after his granddad.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our UK team on 0800 470 4444 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
I bought cars on finance, so I've made my claim.
If our lenders charged hidden commissions, then I've made my claim.
I could be owed thousands.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim. It's so quick and simple.
You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from vehicles bought on finance since 2007, even without the details.
I've made my claim.
Trust myclaimgroup.co.uk.
Claims made simple.
Dealing with my lot means making smart choices. And with our family growing, I want to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000, depending on your age.
Brilliant.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought, and could help my husband pay off the mortgage.
With our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
I'll go ahead.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Viewers, turning attention now to Bangladesh, where it seems that national elections are likely to be announced in the first week of August by the interim government, which, believe it or not, is actually going to complete 1 year in office. The announcement is likely to coincide with that anniversary. The chief advisor of the interim government, Mohammad Yunus, may announce the date through an address to the nation, is what many in the local media are indicating. Now, elections in Bangladesh to elect a government with a political mandate are likely to be held next year in February, almost 18 months after what really was the premise of the interim government to actually be in place. Several political parties in Bangladesh have been demanding these elections early, and right now it's very clear that the interim government is unlikely to hold them anytime before February. Now, demands to hold a national election by December are unlikely to take place, but if they do happen, the announcement does happen, it essentially paves the way for some sort of a democratic transition to return for Bangladesh. All right, but staying with Bangladesh, there's another important story that's coming in, which is that Mohammad Yunus is preparing for something else. He's preparing to be part of the big China-led ASEAN grouping. To this end, Bangladesh has sought Malaysia's support for full ASEAN membership. Bangladesh hopes the move will bolster its geopolitical standing by allowing it to leverage its economic diplomacy for possibly greater standing in the entire region. But here is what the interim advisor is really looking to achieve: to get more aligned with the China-led multilateral economic partnerships. ASEAN may in fact be the stepping stone for RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership that's again led by China. Yunus is also hoping that entering into ASEAN would allow Bangladesh to address the long festering issue of Rohingyas, because that essentially means taking on Myanmar. It's a full ASEAN member, and nobody in ASEAN right now backs Bangladesh against Myanmar. But that repatriation is unlikely to happen simply because it's a very difficult issue to address and unlikely for Bangladesh to come out as a winner. Now, as Bangladesh gets more integrated with the China-led trading platforms, ASEAN first and expectation being RCEP next, India needs to be very clear that it needs to keep its guard up as far as Bangladesh is concerned. All right, the other important story, Donald Trump has announced a trade deal with the EU to come into place after 4 months of very difficult negotiations between Washington and Brussels and avert a damaging transatlantic trade war. Imposing a 15% import tariff on most EU goods, half the threatened rate, the European Commission chief, Ursula von der Leyen, said we have a deal after a 40-minute meeting with Donald Trump at his golf resort in Scotland, where the US president is on holiday for the weekend. Under the agreement, the US will levy a 15% baseline tariff for most EU exports to the US, limiting a higher tariff. But the rate is higher than before Trump came to power, and a 50% tariff remains on steel exports, which is a setback for the industry. There was initial confusion over pharmaceuticals after Trump said the sector would possibly not be included. Trump called it a giant deal, while von der Leyen hailed it as a win for stability and predictability. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz welcomed the deal. Remember, Germany is the big industrial powerhouse of the EU, which has said that it backs the deal completely. Remains to be seen whether it will actually get the kind of economic benefits that both sides are really hoping for. I want to play out Donald Trump's bite in terms of what he felt about this trade deal. Listen in.
They are going to agree to invest into the United States $600 billion. All of the countries will be opened up to trade with the United States at zero tariff. We are agreeing that the tariff straight across for automobiles and everything else will be a straight across tariff of 15%. I think it's great that we made a deal today instead of playing games and maybe not making a deal at all. I think it's, I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much.
All right, as we wrap things up on this edition of India Global, we leave you viewers with probably the most important piece of news that's coming in right now, the World Chess Final. It was going to be a title that only an Indian was supposed to win, and it looks like it's Divya Deshmukh who's trumping the seasoned Koneru Hampi there, and she will in fact now be the young Indian champion of the Federation of Indian Chess and the Chess World Cup. Thank you so much for watching this edition of India Global.
I'm so grateful. Without your help, we couldn't have got through the past year. So it's important to say a proper thank you. It happened so fast. We thought he had a bug, but it was meningitis. He was critically ill, fading fast, and we faced a daunting 3-hour journey to reach specialist help. But your critical care children's ambulance got him there safely. His mum and dad stayed with him every day, and your accommodation kept them together. You helped them through the worst of times. It's a miracle, but he survived, thanks to our amazing NHS and life-saving support from NHS charities. And that's why I'm writing a forever thank you into my will.
Search Forever Thank You to find out how to write a gift into your will to an NHS charity to help them support the NHS to do more for patients, staff and communities for years to come.
Vodafone's summer sale is now on. Save £792 with the Google Pixel 9 Pro. Plus, with Gemini Live, you can talk through your summer plans and get help in real time. Hurry, ends 14th of August. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
This is an urgent appeal from UNICEF UK. Children in Gaza are in critical need of food, water and medicine, and we need your help. Families are still at risk. The services they rely on have been destroyed and their lives turned upside down. UNICEF is working non-stop, providing life-saving medical supplies, clean water and fuel to keep services running. But we can't do it without you. To find out how you can help, search UNICEF Gaza or text Gaza to 84915. £39 could provide a family with an emergency water and hygiene kit. Whatever you can afford, your vital gift will help UNICEF keep working with children and families in Gaza to get through this crisis. Search UNICEF Gaza online or text Gaza to 84915 and help bring hope for children caught in this devastating crisis. Thank you.
Just sorted my guaranteed over 50 plan with Sun Life. There's even a cash payout. Nice one. It's given me the confidence to look after myself. I've started learning jiu-jitsu.
Come on!
Sorry, love. Sensei's turned me into a lethal weapon.
Do you need a doctor?
Oh, no. With Sun Life, there's no medical questions.
Search Sun Life Plan today and get a free gift card.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo. Even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that lucky cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
John from work said it's a lovely hike.
Right, Rosie, can I have the boots bag? No, I meant the hiking boots bag. Did we not bring it?
Save 20% on selected fragrances at Boots. That's your summer sorted.
This is an urgent appeal from UNICEF UK. Children in Gaza are in critical need of food, water and medicine, and we need your help. UNICEF is working non-stop, providing life-saving medical supplies, clean water and fuel to keep services running. But we can't do it without you. Search UNICEF Gaza online or text Gaza to 84901 and help bring hope for children caught in this devastating crisis.
So you want the confidence to hit that high note. Here's how. Get the Harry's starter set. Get our trim and razor, shave gel and travel cover with 30% off and free delivery. With our razor, even your 8th shave will be as smooth as your first. Its 5 German-engineered blades are our sharpest yet. Now with your newfound confidence, that high note is there for the taking. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
Visit bingoaliens.com/bingo for a cosmic range of bingo games, taking bingo to another dimension at bingoaliens.com/bingo.
Some people think life slows down in your 50s, but I'm just getting started. And I don't want my lot to have to worry about funeral costs. Let them spend their money on nicer things. So I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period. Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life. Unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period.
And no annoying trips to the doctors either.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Now I'm with Cover Today, I can get on with something much more interesting.
To get a free life insurance quote, call our friendly UK team on 0800 470 4474 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
And what we're reporting today is that the mastermind of the Pahalgam terror attack has been eliminated. It's pretty scary if you look at the pictures, because this terror encounter took place, a stone's throw from Srinagar city in the Dachigam hills between Srinagar and Pahalgam. This is a mountainous area. If you look at the pictures where the encounter took place, it looks like this was a night operation. I can confirm here on NDTV that the para special forces were very much involved, and it's very likely that it was a group of commandos that finally executed the kill. It doesn't look like there was a firefight of any kind. This was a clean operation where these terrorists and their hideout was discovered thanks to an intelligence alert, and then our commandos were able to sneak up and eliminate them very quickly once the identities had been confirmed. What this basically means, Gaurie, is that the three terrorists, one of them we can confirm is the Pahalgam mastermind. The two others whose names we have, but the linkages are yet to be ascertained, will hopefully come out when the 15 Corps, which is the Srinagar Corps of the Army, holds a briefing that's expected at 5 o'clock. We've just received a message from the Army saying this is a briefing that will be held in Srinagar by senior commanders. Hopefully the intrigue and the suspense over the complexity and the results of this incredible encounter will come out during this operation. But as NDTV had reported first earlier today, this has a direct link to Pahalgam. The terrorists involved, at least one of them is someone who was actually there during the Pahalgam terror attack, and therefore everything that flows from it is going to be secondary. The fact is the different security agencies, whether it is the Rashtriya Rifles, the Indian Army, the Para Special Forces, the CRPF, the Special Operations Group of the J&K Police, all of them have come together in an incredible, calibrated, multi-layered anti-terror sort of operation and combing operation in different parts of Kashmir. But the fact that it has taken 97 days to achieve what they have done today just tells you how difficult this operation has actually been.
And that includes every aspect of it, whether it's the terrain aspect of it or several others that complicated the entire operation and took 97 days. But one cannot miss the fact that it comes on a day when you have those questions that are being put forth by the opposition as well in terms of Pahalgam. But the fact is, Operation Mahadev, as Shiv was pointing out, the mastermind has been killed. Two others, those details and those linkages are still being established. But I think, Shiv, the detailed account and what exactly the operation was all about, which the Indian Army will share in greater detail, is going to be extremely significant.
It is, and I'll give you my personal view as a reporter, Gaurie. Since I spent the better part of a month in Kashmir reporting on not just the terror operations, anti-terror operations, but also India's response to Pahalgam and then Operation Sindoor. I can tell you that today's activities in Parliament, in my view, actually are a bit embarrassing. From a reporter's perspective, I found the opposition's questions, the issues that they raised, completely missed the mark compared to the questions that genuinely needed to be asked. As a reporter who saw how things actually played out on the ground, I can tell you there are very, very substantive issues that the government could have been pinned down on. There were genuine operational issues and other issues that could have been, that the government should have been grilled on. But it looks like the opposition was happy to sort of play to the gallery with puerile questions like kitne jet gire, and quoting the CDS, and quoting, another officer of the Indonesian embassy, and going into the whole aspect of Trump and the ceasefire, who mediated the ceasefire. This is puerile politics. One would have expected the opposition to show a greater deal of awareness and research about what should have really been asked of the government. Because let me be very clear, I'm not even defending the government here. As a reporter from the ground, I can tell you there are at least 15, 16 uncomfortable issues on which the government could have been grilled and pinned down, and it would have made the government genuinely tremble. It could have really used this opportunity to make a point as far as national security is concerned. But then you saw the speech playing to the gallery, whether it is chest thumping on one side to puerile, imaginationless, soulless, silly political questions like talking about jets or talking about Trump or talking about why you're not talking about China, etc. This just shows the complete death of imagination in our political landscape today. And as a student of warfare, as someone who covered Pahalgam, who covered Operation Sindoor, I think the politicians have completely disappointed us today.
Indeed. And Shiv, as someone who tracked that entire operation since the terror attack took place, you were there a day after. I'm going to ask you about some of the other aspects as well in terms of what you expect in terms of details of Operation Mahadev. But there's an important update that's coming in, the media briefing that we were talking about. There's an update that's come in that due to some developments in the said operation, the media briefing has been postponed. This is the latest update that's come in from PRO Defense. Let's quickly, in fact, listen into a soundbite as well that's coming in. Then we go back to Shiv.
Mr. Dwivedi, they said two of them were involved in Pahalgam terror attack, Yasir and Sulaiman.
As I said, it will take us some time for identification and all that. Still parties are inside and all that. It is, I would like to say...
A bit of background, not the information. How long you were actually preparing for this, chasing them?
I'll let you know we will let you know at the opportune time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is the update coming in terms of some information is still yet to be ascertained. Now, Shiv, this is an important aspect, the details that we are putting out, which is that the media briefing, which was to take place at 5 p.m., about 45 minutes from now, has actually been pushed ahead, postponed to another date and time, so which means it's not going to take place today. What do you think could be the reason? Because it seems that more details are still emerging and that needs to be established.
Two possible reasons, Gaurie. You're absolutely right, because this is an evolving situation. The encounter is still very much on from an operational perspective. There may be combing operations on. There may be some refining of certain aspects of the information that is supposed to be shared at this briefing, as a result of which the army might be playing safe by seeking a small postponement before they hold that briefing. Because remember, this is very important. All eyes are going to be on this briefing. Obviously, the entire media is on it. NDTV broke the initial details that came out. Some of those details appear to be changing, and therefore the army needs to be certain. The second more important aspect, which we have to remember, is the big elephant in the room, Gaurie, which is Parliament is on. When Parliament is on, protocols as far as briefings, sharing of information, etc., are guided by an entirely different set of dynamics and protocols. Remember, when Parliament is in session, it has the prerogative to receive details of any kind first. It has to be informed first about anything that's actually happening, especially if it is to do with national security, and double especially if it is to do with something that is literally being debated at that time in Parliament. You had Gaurav Gogoi talk about where are the Pahalgam terrorists. I'm guessing nobody informed him that those terrorists or terrorists were actually being, had actually been gunned down by the security forces a little earlier. So that was an important update that perhaps his team had not shared with him. But leaving that aside, the fact that Parliament is on right now may also be dictating some timing protocols, because the army is bound by the propriety of Parliament. The majesty of Parliament means information being shared by any organ of the government must first flow to Parliament, and then it can be put out in public. That may be one of the stumbling blocks right now, which is why maybe the army is trying to just get, tick all the boxes before actually holding this briefing.
Indeed, when Parliament is in session, information needs to be first shared on the floor of the House. The reason why that briefing may have been pushed ahead. Shiv, stay with us. I want to quickly now get in Nazir as well and his updates as well. The fact that what's really happening on ground. And Shiv, I come back to you with more perspective on that. But Nazir, let me come to you. The fact that the briefing has been pushed ahead to a later date indicates that A, the operation is still currently underway, and several sensitive aspects of that operation are still something that the army needs to first close in before sharing more details.
Well, just a while back, I spoke to Mr. Dwivedi, IGP Kashmir, and he confirmed that 3 have been killed and identity is being ascertained. He said they will share more information, as she was mentioning. Since the Parliament is in session, government is accountable to the Parliament. So clearly, perhaps the first information that needs to be shared is with the Parliament, not outside the Parliament. That's why IGP Kashmir, when I asked him questions, he was a bit, cautious, not to give many details. He said they will share details at an appropriate time, and he said even operation is still underway. But this is a major success. What security sources are telling us so far, 3 terrorists, 3 all Pakistanis, they have been killed this morning in these forests, in Dara forest, in the Zabarban mountains, in the Srinagar heights, which clearly link Srinagar, these mountains, right up to Tral, and then further to the Pahalgam. And it is clear now that the 2 of the 3, Yasir and the Suleiman, they have managed to come here, and finally, after weeks of operation, gathering intelligence, actionable intelligence, all the 3 terrorists have been killed in this operation. Army was supposed, they had said, by 5 this evening they will hold a press conference. That has been put off indefinitely. We don't know whether that would happen today or that would happen day after, or when, or before the information may first come from the Parliament, from Defence Minister. But the fact it is a huge success for the security forces. For last 3 months, everybody was asking, how come these terrorists have disappeared in the forest, despite the fact a massive counter-terrorist operation was launched in Pahalgam. It was not just the security forces, the rest of the country, but also people of Kashmir were asking that these people should be tracked down, and people were reiterating their commitment. They are on the side of the security forces when it comes to tracking down the killers of Pahalgam. So that time we have seen thousands of people coming out, condemning this terrorist attack, and telling security forces, we're on you, we're behind you, we're firmly with you. Go and those who know the mountains, forests, so they will help you. In fact, it is not just possible. They will go inside and they will get them. There must have been taken a lot of technical intelligence, human intelligence, lot of persuasion, get their hideout and bust it and pin them down. That exactly happened this morning, and 3 terrorists, 2 of them, those who are behind Pahalgam massacre, have been killed by the army and security force today. A huge victory.
Absolutely,
after
a huge win.
operation.
And Nazir, I'm going to come back and talk more on that, but there's an update as far as the briefing for Operation Mahadev is concerned. And the latest update that we have is that briefing will now take place tomorrow. So let's go back to Shiv for more on this. Shiv, we were talking about the propriety of Parliament, the fact that information needs to be first shared on the floor of the House, but also is coinciding with Operation Sindoor being discussed on the floor of the House as we speak.
That is correct. Gaurie, I think there are some issues as far as information flow is concerned. There are all these protocols with Parliament as well, and we have an official confirmation now that the Operation Mahadev briefing by the army and perhaps some other agencies as well will take place only tomorrow. The follow-up operations in Dachigam, where Nazir is reporting from, are continuing as we speak. It's still a sensitive time. It is an evolving situation. Just to be categorically clear, the principal facts of the story as we are reporting it are not changing at all. All of that is absolutely confirmed. The faces we have on air, the names we have on air, the fact that the principal terrorist in Pahalgam has been eliminated, all of that is beyond question. That's confirmed. We have it from the security forces. The reason why the briefing itself was first postponed by an hour and then to possibly tomorrow is more logistical in nature. It's probably because there are more officers who are not in Srinagar at present who need to be there for the briefing. That's possible. There is a possibility that this operation might carry on overnight as well, as a result of which the Corps wants the commanders involved to also be part of that particular briefing. Like you rightly said, the fact that Parliament is in session. Tomorrow is the second day. The Prime Minister is likely to intervene. Leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, will also be speaking. All of these factors may have a bearing on the fact that the postponement has happened. But I wouldn't read too much into it from any other angle. It's nothing to be alarmed about. These are things that routinely happen, especially when an operation of this criticality is taking place on the day when Parliament is literally debating the same thing. So we'll have to wait and watch what the armed forces actually say. Important to note, however, that so far, apart from just two tweets, Gaurie, that the 15 Corps has put out on social media, nothing else has come out officially from the government.
And I think those stunning details is what we are all waiting for. But Shiv, finally, let me ask you this, that as things stand right now, while the operation is still underway, walk us through what could be the next steps. A lot of our viewers who are tuning in right now, they understand the sensitivities involved, but walk them through what lies ahead, because this is still an ongoing operation. Still, as you mentioned, some of the identities and linkages are still being established. What happened next? How long is that likely to take?
Very good question, Gaurie. And the reason why NDTV is always deliberate when it releases or reports any information is because it looks like we're the only the only network that actually cares about the safety and operational safety of our security forces on the ground. And therefore, our priority is not going to be, to release information as soon as we get it, but to tick all the boxes as far as operational security and safety is concerned before we actually do that. And that's one of the reasons why we can now confirm the Pahalgam link to what happened. But other than that, operations of this kind can go on for a while. Remember, these are not isolated counter-terror operations. The fact that these terrorists were hiding successfully for 97 days in Dachigam, not far from Srinagar itself, is a different story altogether. How were they able to operate so close to the UT capital for 97 days is a question that will obviously come up. But right now, there are physical operations taking place on the ground. Immediately after an encounter, there will be cordon and search operations to find out, what logistical help these guys were getting. These three terrorists obviously had some kind of help from the nearest village or town. Was it someone in Srinagar? Intercepts of their communications will also have to be studied. What exactly was the source of intelligence? Will there be any follow-up on that? There were 3 Pakistani terrorists or foreign terrorists, as the army has put out. Could there be more help that they're actually getting? What were they planning to do? Could they have been targeting the Amarnath Yatra? All of these are questions which mean that, the army's job is definitely not done. These things continue. The briefing might happen, but the job of the soldiers, commandos, paramilitary forces, personnel on the ground, it simply does not end. And that's the reason why we need to be so careful reporting every aspect of this.
Absolutely. Shiv Arora, my colleague, decoding that for us in all details, telling us about Operation Mahadev. While the briefing may have been postponed till tomorrow, the operation continues, and those finer sensitive aspects is what is currently being currently playing out, all of which NDTV has been very responsibly not putting out any aspect. In fact, viewers, let's quickly now play out a clipping and a snippet of what Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said when he opened the debate on Operation Sindoor in Lok Sabha. Listen in.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर क्यों शुरू किया गया, इसकी जानकारी पहले भी दी गई है और आज भी मैंने सदन को दी है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, कभी कभी हमारे प्रतिपक्ष के लोग ये पूछते रहे हैं कि हमारे कितने बीमार गिरे। मुझे लगता है उनका यह प्रश्न हमारी राष्ट्रीय जनभावनाओं का सही से प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं कर रहा है। मुझे लगता है उन्होंने एक बार भी हमसे यह नहीं पूछा कि हमारी सेनाओं ने दुश्मन के कितने विमान मारे गिराए। यदि उन्हें प्रश्न पूछना ही है अध्यक्ष महोदय, तो उनका प्रश्न यह होना चाहिए, क्या भारत ने आतंकवादी ठिकानों को तबाह किया? तो उसका उत्तर है हाँ। मैं विपक्ष के सम्मानित साथियों से कहना चाहता हूं कि आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह प्रश्न पूछिए, क्या ऑपरेशन सिंदूर सफल रहा? तो उसका उत्तर है हाँ। आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह प्रश्न पूछिए कि जिन आतंकियों ने हमारी बहनों, हमारी बेटियों का सिंदूर मिटाया, क्या हमारी सेनाओं ने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में उन आतंकियों के आकाओं को मिटाया? तो इसका उत्तर है हाँ। और आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह पूछिए कि इस ऑपरेशन में क्या हमारे जाबाज सैनिकों को कोई क्षति हुई है? तो उसका उत्तर है नहीं।
All right, let's get in my colleague Vasudha Venugopal, who joins us live from outside Parliament as the debate continues. The discussion on Operation Sindoor continues. Vasudha, what's the latest that you can help us with? The opposition's charge has been very clear. They come down to the same thing about kitne jets gire, something that Rajnath Singh made it very clear that you should be focusing on some of the other aspects of Operation Sindoor. Walk us through what lies ahead.
That's right, Gaurie, and I'm glad you asked the right question here, and the question on how many jets actually fell down, and that's exactly what Rajnath Singh also talked about. Rajnath Singh, in fact, said that the opposition is asking all the wrong questions. He started out with a little bit of history. He said, from 1971, from every time there's been a war, BJP, or for that matter, Jan Sangh, has always looked at it as a national issue, and there was never a minute in the history of the country where the BJP has questioned why the government did a certain thing with respect to Pakistan. He also said that there's a certain madness to what Pakistan does. It is not entirely madness, there's method to it, and that it is part of state policy. He also said that, he in fact took the analogy of Bhagavad Gita, and he said that Bhagavad Gita teaches us courage and patience, and India has finally taken the Sudarshan Chakra in its hands, and it has put in place a new normal, which will be something that the world remembers, which will be something that Pakistan remembers. He said that the aim was to dismantle terror. The aim was never to start a war, which is exactly what India managed to do. Now, Gaurav Gogoi, the deputy leader of opposition, also stood up and he asked a lot of questions. In fact, responding to Rajnath Singh, he said that it's become a pattern for BJP leaders to quote from books, and he said that the Home Minister should be in fact taking responsibility for the intelligence failure that happened in Pahalgam. He asked two important questions. One is that it's not important to understand how many jets fell, but why they fell is important. The second question he asked is, of course, what happens, why did India not stop the IMF aid that was given to Pakistan? These are the two important questions that he asked, and largely he said that there are terror attacks that are happening in India under the Modi regime. He alleged that this is much more than what happened during UPA, and he quoted Balakot, Uri, and of course Pahalgam, and he said that there needs to be accountability and tour operators cannot be alone responsible for this, and that the Home Minister needs to take responsibility for this. After that, of course, TDP MP Lau Krishna Devarailu spoke. Kalyan Banerjee, in fact, made this bizarre suggestion that Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, should be posting on X, denying the comments made by Donald Trump, the President of US, who has in fact 26 times, according to Gaurav Gogoi, said that he played a role in the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Kalyan Banerjee said that Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, should be publicly denying those comments. I don't think that really works in diplomacy. And of course, now Lallan Singh, the Panchayati Raj Minister of JDU, is speaking. And Jaishankar, Dr. S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, is all likely to speak around 8 to 9 o'clock. And that is when we will get to know the whole global diplomacy picture, while Rajnath Singh has already outlined the military doctrine.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. Vasudha Venugopal, my colleague, decoding that big story that we are tracking. And Vasudha, we're going to keep coming back to you with all the latest updates and developments. Shifting focus, viewers, to more breaking news that's coming in on the broadcast. Let's address that. PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti does it again. She, in fact, wants to have talks with Pakistan. And Mehbooba Mufti's Pakistan love is out again. In fact, she has asked and sought for talks to take place with Pakistan and said, stop ranting about war and instead focus on talks. Now, interestingly, this comes on a day when India is hunting down those Pakistani terrorists who've perpetrated that heinous Pahalgam terror attack. It comes on a day when Operation Sindoor is being deliberated and discussed in Parliament, and you have PDP chief once again saying that let's start discussing and having discussion and dialogue with Pakistan. Let's play out that soundbite of the PDP chief.
पूरी दुनिया में अपना डंका बजाना चाहते हो, चीन से आगे जाना चाहते हो, तो ये जंग करना बंद कर दो, बातचीत करो, reconciliation करो.
All right, viewers, a quick break. We return with more stories on the other side. Stay with us.
I'm so grateful. Without your help, we couldn't have got through the past. I'm so grateful. Without your help, we couldn't have got through the past year. So it's important to say a proper thank you. It happened so fast. We thought he had a bug, but it was meningitis. He was critically ill, fading fast, and we faced a daunting 3-hour journey to reach specialist help. But your critical care children's ambulance got him there safely. His mum and dad stayed with him every day, and your accommodation kept them together. You helped them through the worst of times. It's a miracle, but he survived, thanks to our amazing NHS and life-saving support from NHS charities. And that's why I'm writing a forever thank you into my will.
Search Forever Thank You to find out how to write a gift into your will to an NHS charity to help them support the NHS to do more for patients, staff and communities for years to come.
Wouldn't life be so much easier if you could control your blinds at the touch of a button? With Ultra Smart Blinds from Appeal, there's no chains, cords or wiring, because these stylish blinds are driven by a rechargeable power pack. New Ultra Smart Blinds from Appeal, the intelligent solution for home shading.
Just sorted my guaranteed over 50 plan with Sun Life. There's even a cash payout. Nice one. It's given me the confidence to look after myself. I've started learning jiu-jitsu.
Come on!
Sorry, love. Sensei's turned me into a lethal weapon.
Do you need a doctor?
Oh, no. With Sun Life, there's no medical questions.
Search Sun Life Plan today and get a free gift card.
Viewers, our top story that we are focusing on, the high-octane showdown that's unfolded in Parliament today as the government and opposition locked horns over Operation Sindoor. and the recent Pahalgam terror attack. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh opened the debate from the government side and he led the government's charge, dismissing opposition concerns and asserting that the operation was only paused, not over. Congress's MP and Deputy Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, Gaurie demanded answers. He was the first to open up on the opposition side, the first speaker who said that the government needs to provide answers on how heavily armed terrorists entered a high security zone. Even as Parliament debated the terrorist attack in Pahalgam, security forces on the ground gunned down the 3 Pakistani terrorists, including the alleged mastermind. With national security taking centre stage this session, the fiery exchange today set the tone for an intense political season ahead. Let's quickly now play out some of those important reactions and sound bites that we've been getting for you on the big story.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर क्यों शुरू किया गया, इसकी जानकारी पहले भी दी गई है और आज भी मैंने सदन को दी है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, कभी कभी हमारे प्रतिपक्ष के लोग ये पूछते रहे हैं कि हमारे कितने विमान गिरे। मुझे लगता है उनका यह प्रश्न हमारी राष्ट्रीय जनभावनाओं का सही से प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं कर रहा है। मुझे लगता है उन्होंने एक बार भी हमसे यह नहीं पूछा कि हमारी सेनाओं ने दुश्मन के कितने विमान मारे गिराए। यदि उन्हें प्रश्न पूछना ही है अध्यक्ष महोदय, तो उनका प्रश्न यह होना चाहिए, क्या भारत ने आतंकवादी ठिकानों को तबाह किया? तो उसका उत्तर है हाँ। मैं विपक्ष के सम्मानित साथियों से कहना चाहता हूं कि आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह प्रश्न पूछिए, क्या ऑपरेशन सिंदूर सफल रहा? तो उसका उत्तर है हाँ। आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह प्रश्न पूछिए कि जिन आतंकियों ने हमारी बहनों, हमारी बेटियों का सिंदूर मिटाया, क्या हमारी सेनाओं ने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में उन आतंकियों के आकाओं को मिटाया? तो इसका उत्तर है हाँ। और आपको प्रश्न पूछना है तो यह पूछिए कि इस ऑपरेशन में क्या हमारे जाबाज सैनिकों को कोई क्षति हुई है? तो उसका उत्तर है नहीं।
ये जरूरी नहीं कि जेट गिरे, पर क्यों गिरे, क्या गलतियां हुई, वो महत्वपूर्ण है। संख्या महत्वपूर्ण नहीं सर। 35 ही राफेल है देश में, 35 ही राफेल है। अगर उनमें से कुछ गिरे भी तो देखिए सर, मुझे तो लगता है कि बहुत बड़ी क्षति हुई।
हमने दुनिया को बताया कि आतंकवाद के खिलाफ हम सरहद के इस पार भी मारेंगे और जरूरत पड़ी तो आतंकियों के घर में घुसकर भी मारेंगे। यह बदलाव प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आया।
Turning attention now to the other aspect of this big political story, which is the BJP versus former Home Minister P. Chidambaram that's now playing out. BJP has hit back at the former Home Minister's charge about giving a clean sheet to Pakistan. That's the big allegation that the BJP has made, saying that the former Home Minister has actually ruled out the Pakistan angle. There's been a big in fact, back and forth on this with P. Chidambaram hitting out at BJP, saying that only 2 sentences have been taken out of context and the trolls are misleading the entire issue. Now, at the heart of it is the big allegation where P. Chidambaram seems to have said that, and in fact hinted, that's the allegation from the BJP side, that the Pakistani terrorists have been given a clean sheet in the Pahalgam terror attack by the former Home Minister. That's the big charge. Let's quickly now play out some important reactions that have been coming in on this story, including Aishwarya, my colleague, who's spoken to some important political voices.
So when the Parliament is taking up the discussion on Operation Sindoor, my request to the opposition members, especially the Congress party. So number one, the Congress party and opposition leaders should not speak anything to harm national interests. Secondly, they should not speak Pakistan's language. Whatever they speak against India's interests, it is used by the Pakistanis, India's enemies outside, those who lost their lives, their family members must not be undermined, and also the enemies of the country should not take advantage of the foul languages used by the opposition leaders.
कांग्रेस एमपी सुखदेव भगत हमारे साथ हैं। सर, आज ऑपरेशन सिंदूर पर लोकसभा के अंदर एक बड़ी बहस होने वाली है। आपको लगता है सरकार उन तमाम सवालों के लिए तैयार है, क्योंकि वो कह रहे हैं कि हर सवाल का जवाब मिलेगा?
मैं समझता हूँ सरकार तो अपनी जिम्मेवारी से भागती है। जब राहुल गांधी जी कश्मीर गए, विक्टिम के परिवारों से मिले, हम लोगों ने विशेष सत्र की मांग की, कोई विशेष घटना हुई, सरकार ने 90 दिन लिया। इस 90 दिन में हम ये अपेक्षा करते हैं कि पहले राहुल गांधी जी का माइक तो बंद ना हो, उन्हें बोलने का अवसर दिए और सरकार पूर्वाग्रह ना पाले, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही संवेदनशील और राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा से जुड़ा हुआ मसला है। हर बातों के, चाहे आज सुरक्षा मानकों के बारे में जहां बातें आनी चाहिए, साथ ही साथ अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पे हमारी स्थिति क्या है, क्योंकि आपके साथ ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में एक भी राष्ट्र खड़ा नहीं हुआ। ट्रंप के जिस पर लगातार हस्तक्षेप की बातें आई है, 25 बार उन्होंने कहा, सरकार मौन है। ऐसे बहुत सारे मसले हैं जिनके बारे में चर्चाएं होनी चाहिए और हम सरकार से ये अपेक्षा कर रहे हैं वो पूर्वाग्रह ना पाले और सारी बातें यहाँ पर क्लियर होनी चाहिए।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी कह रही है कि पी चिदम्बरम पाकिस्तान की लाइन ले रहे हैं। पी चिदम्बरम अभी तक स्वीकार नहीं कर पा रहे हैं कि आखिर वो आतंकवादी पाकिस्तान के थे या फिर हमारे देश।
देखिए, मैं समझता हूँ कि भावार्थ समझना चाहिए। जो 3 स्तरीय जो सुरक्षा के जो मानक थे या सुरक्षा के जो उपाय थे, वो किनके जिम्मेवारी थी? ये यहाँ की सरकार की जिम्मेवारी थी। उन्होंने अपने दायित्वों का निर्वहन नहीं किया और जो भी मानसिक रूप से नैतिक रूप से समर्थन देते हैं, इसके कारण इस प्रकार की अगर घटना घटी तो चिदम्बरम ने उन बातों का भी ध्यान आकृष्ट करा है। तो मैं समझता हूँ ये तो शुरू से पलायनवादी रहे हैं, भगोड़े रहे हैं, अपने दायित्वों से भाग रहे हैं। सेशन का सत्र उन्होंने स्पेशल सत्र नहीं बुलाया, तो और सर्वदलीय बैठक में मोदी जी गायब हो जाते हैं। तो ये मैं इसलिए कहता हूं कि सरकार को संवेदनशीलता के साथ ये बातें आनी चाहिए, स्वीकार करना चाहिए और जो गलतियां हैं वो स्वीकार करके उसकी पुनरावृत्ति ना हो, ये सरकार को सुनिश्चित करना चाहिए।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस बात करने के लिए। दैट वाज कांग्रेस एमपी सुखदेव भगत स्पीकिंग टू एनडीटीवी।
All right, viewers, turning attention to now more breaking news that's coming in on the broadcast. This is regarding the cash for query scam against Mahua Mitra, and the CBI has submitted its report on this scam to the Lokpal. Now, this is with regard to the alleged cash for query scam case involving Lok Sabha MP Mahua Mitra and businessman Darshan Hiranandani. And let's get in an update in terms of what exactly does the CBI report says from my colleague Anushka, who's joining us live on the broadcast. She's joining us on the phone line. Anushka, walk us through what is the latest as far as this case is concerned and the report that's been filed by the CBI.
That's right, Gaurie. The CBI has submitted its report to the Lokpal in connection with the alleged cash for query scam case involving Lok Sabha MP Mahua Mitra and businessman Darshan Hiranandani. On Monday, the agency had registered an FIR, on March 21 last year against Mahua Mitra and Hiranandani and the provisions of, Prevention of Corruption Act on a reference from the Lokpal. It was alleged that Mahua Mitra indulged in corrupt practices, including but not limited to taking bribes and other undue advantages from Hiranandani for compromising her parliamentary privileges and causing national security threats by sharing her Lok Sabha login credentials. Now, the agency has submitted its findings in the case to the Lokpal, which will decide further course of action in this case. That is what the officials are saying. Now, Moitra, who represented Krishnanagar seat in the last, Lok Sabha, was expelled from House in December 2023 for unethical conduct, which she has challenged in the Supreme Court. Now, she has convincingly defeated her rival BJP's Amrita Roy in 2024 general elections, retaining her seat in 18th Lok Sabha. The Lokpal, the anti-corruption, ombudsman, issued directions to the CBI after receiving the findings of its preliminary inquiry into allegations made against Moitra by BJP MP Nishikant Dubey. Dubey had alleged that Mahua Moitra had asked questions in the House in exchange for cash and gifts from Dubai-based businessman, Darshan Hiranandani to mount an attack on industrialist and Prime Minister, industrialist and, also on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, among others. Over to you.
All right, Anushka, I'll leave it there. My colleague Anushka Gaurie bringing us up to speed with the CBI report that's been submitted against Mahua Moitra of the TMC. All right, viewers, on that note, a quick break. We return with more stories on the other side. Stay with NDTV for that.
Hello. Vodafone's summer sale is now on. Save £792 with the Google Pixel 9 Pro. Plus, with Gemini Live, you can talk through your summer plans and get help in real time. Hurry, ends 14th of August. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo. Even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that lucky cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
Just sorted my guaranteed over 50 plan with Sun Life. There's even a cash payout. Nice one. It's given me the confidence to look after myself. I've started learning jiu-jitsu.
Come on!
Search Sun Life Plan today and get a free gift card.
Save money on your travel insurance when you've just used Confused.com.
So you want the confidence to hit that high note. Here's how. Get the Harry's starter set. Get our trim and razor, shave gel and travel cover with 30% off and free delivery. With our razor, even your 8th shave will be as smooth as your first. Its 5 German-engineered blades are our sharpest yet. Now with your newfound confidence, that high note is there for the taking. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
Right now, UNICEF is supporting millions of children in emergencies around the world. Teams are bringing medical supplies for children in Yemen, clean water and medicines in Afghanistan, healthcare and safe spaces for Ukraine's children. £32 could help provide a health worker with a large first aid kit. Search UNICEF supplies now or text supplies to 61145 because your support brings hope for children caught in crisis.
Visit bingoaliens.com/bingo for a cosmic range of bingo games, taking bingo to another dimension at bingoaliens.com/bingo.
I've bought cars on finance, so I've made my claim.
My lenders charge hidden commissions. I've made my claim. I could be owed thousands.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim. I've made my claim.
It's so quick and simple.
You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from vehicles bought on finance since 2007, even without the details.
I've made my claim.
Trust myclaimgroup.co.uk.
Claims made simple.
We should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
All right, viewers, the big story that we are focusing on, justice for Pahalgam terror victims. Pakistani terrorists have been gunned down by Indian armed forces. They've been tracked, cornered and gunned down. 3 terrorists have been gunned down in an encounter with security forces at Lidwas near Jammu Kashmir's Srinagar area. That's the update that's given by the army on the official handle of the Indian Army's Chinnar Corps. Earlier posted that the security forces have launched Operation Mahadev. 3 terrorists have been neutralized in an intense firefight and the operation continues. That's the update that came in from the army, adding that the operation is still underway. The opposition has repeatedly cornered the government over the inability to nab the terrorists behind the Pahalgam terror attack. The development comes on a day when Parliament is discussing Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor as we speak. 16 hours have been allocated for this entire discussion, which is currently underway in Lok Sabha. And Operation Sindoor, which was India's response to the Pahalgam terror attack. And let's quickly now play out important reactions. But before that, let's get in my colleague Nazir, who joins us to give us an update on what really is the situation right now on ground.